Todd and Julie Chrisley have talked about their first interaction with each other since getting released from federal prison. Fans have had a lot of questions about the situation. Was it weird? Was it awkward? There is a lot that people were wondering about the first time they reconnected. However, Todd and Julie have clarified the answers to fans' questions. There is a lot to unfold and uncover. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Todd and Julie Chrisley were incarcerated for 28 months. This is how long they also went without seeing each other. They were in federal prison for tax evasion and fraud. However, they still deny doing anything wrong. Donald Trump pardoned them recently, and they were able to come home. This was huge news for their family. Savannah had to take custody of her younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. It was hard on everyone, not just Todd and Julie. Fans were glad to see that they were back home. Now the two are doing interviews and talking about everything fans have been wondering. The Chrisleys are working on putting their lives back together after their reputation was burned to the ground. Todd and Julie Chrisley have talked about their first interaction post-prison. Fans were wondering if it was weird or awkward. Julie claimed it was not at all. Todd then added, "For me, I was never away from her. She was in my spirit the entire time. I thought of every second of my day. And so when I hugged her the first time, it was like I was home. It was not like I had been missing or I knew I was coming home with the same woman that I left. Now when I say the same, I'm in my heart spiritually. We have changed, and if we did not change in 28 months, it would have been wasted." People loved his answer, and the two seemed to be just as in love as they were before. It seems as though the interaction between the two was not weird, nor was it awkward. Todd knew he was coming home to Julie. It was just a matter of when. Todd was continuously thinking of her, and she was doing the same. However, they both admitted that they had changed, although they are glad that they did. What do you think about this situation? Are you shocked there was no weirdness? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. It all began in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, on an unusually hot afternoon in 1995. Todd Chrisley, already a rising figure in the real estate world, had taken his Range Rover to a local car wash. A man known for obsessing over details, cleanliness being chief among them, Todd wasn't about to let a speck of dust linger on his beloved vehicle. Julie, meanwhile, had just finished her shift at a small local bank. She was wearing a modest navy blouse and slacks, her hair pulled up in a no-nonsense bun. Her own car, a humble sedan that had seen better days, was sputtering along and badly in need of a wash. Julie almost skipped the stop altogether, but something pulled her in. "I was about to go home and just forget it, but I had this gut feeling," Julie recalled, smiling. "My mom always told me to listen to those." Todd, as fate would have it, was inside the waiting area, sipping sweet tea from a foam cup and flipping through a dog-eared real estate magazine. "I looked up when I heard the door chime, and in walks this girl who looked like she just stepped out of a Southern Living ad," Todd said. "I remember thinking, that's the kind of woman you build a life with, not just a date." Julie, for her part, wasn't impressed at first glance. He looked polished to the point of perfection. He had this smug air, like he knew the world should revolve around him. I thought, "Oh, he's trouble." Todd's bold move. Anyone who knows Todd knows he's not shy. But even by his standards, what he did next was bold. "I walked right up to her and said, 'Hey there, I'm Todd. You look like you need someone to buy you a better car.'" Julie's eyes widened in mock horror during the interview as she remembered that line. "I nearly slapped him," she said, laughing. "But he had this crooked little grin that told me he wasn't entirely serious." Still, she fired back quickly. "I told him, well, Todd, maybe you need someone to teach you humility." And I think that's when I had his attention for real. From there, the banter flowed. Todd offered to buy her tea from the vending machine, and they ended up sitting across from each other for nearly 40 minutes while waiting for their cars. What started with sarcastic jabs turned into personal questions, stories from childhood, and a surprising amount of laughter. Shared pain beneath the polished exterior. Didn't take long before both Todd and Julie realized they were speaking the same emotional language. Todd had grown up with financial hardship, a father he idolized, and a mother who took no nonsense. Julie, the daughter of a Baptist minister, was used to living quietly and never seeking attention,
Dreamed of a life
bigger than the one she knew. We both came from backgrounds where we had to work hard, Julie said. But Todd, he had a vision. I could see it in his eyes. Todd nodded. She didn't need me to impress her. She just needed me to be real. And that scared the hell out of me. They exchanged numbers that day, but Todd didn't wait long. That evening he called. I told her I wasn't going to play games. I wanted dinner with her tomorrow night, and that if she didn't come, I'd probably show up at the bank and apply for a loan I didn't need just to see her again. Julie laughed so hard at that line during the interview she nearly cried. That man is persistent. But you know what? He kept his word. The first date, and the first fight, their first official date, was at a steakhouse in Buckhead. Todd arrived in a charcoal gray suit, carrying a bouquet of red roses. Julie wore a black dress with pearl earrings, her makeup light but flawless. It felt like a movie, Julie said. Until the fight. Halfway through the evening, the couple got into a minor spat about something trivial. Whether Atlanta was becoming too flashy. I said the city had lost its charm, and she said I had no right to judge anything when I was clearly part of the problem. Todd recounted, chuckling. I mean, she wasn't wrong. But that disagreement, instead of driving them apart, revealed something deeper. She challenged me. She didn't smile and nod. She made me think. And I realized, I want that in my life. Forever. Julie agreed. He made me feel like I could be myself. Not a preacher's daughter. Not a bank clerk. Just Julie. Falling fast. Falling hard after that night. The two were inseparable. Within a month, Todd was telling friends he was going to marry her. Julie was more cautious, but not by much. He moved fast. But he also moved with intention, she said. He wasn't afraid of commitment, and he made me feel safe. But there were hurdles. Todd had been married before and had 2 children. Julie had never imagined being a stepmother so early in life. It was a challenge, but she approached it with grace and a little fire when necessary. She loved my kids, Todd said, visibly emotional. She didn't just accept them. She fought for them, defended them. That was when I knew. She wasn't just going to be my wife. She was going to be the anchor of our whole family. Wedding bells and reality TV far in the future. Todd and Julie married in 1996, just 1 year after that fateful encounter at the car wash. Their wedding was small but elegant, with magnolia flowers, silver accents, and family-packed pews. It was the kind of Southern ceremony that people still talk about. No TV crews, no glam teams, no drama. Just us. Julie remembered. And it was perfect. Of course, life didn't remain so quiet. By the time Chrisley Knows Best debuted in 2014, the couple had weathered businesses, bankruptcy, blended families, and personal trials. And while the show often presented a polished, hilarious version of the Chrisleys, behind the scenes, Todd and Julie clung to that same chemistry that sparked in the waiting room of a car wash. That first interaction was the foundation, Todd said. We built everything from that. Our family, our faith, our fight. Julie nodded. People see the glitz. They don't see the grit. But I knew who Todd was before the cameras. And that's the man I married. A love-tested the couple admitted that their love story isn't a fairy tale. It's more of a saga. From raising 5 children to dealing with very public legal battles, their bond has been tested in unimaginable ways. Yet, even now, with both of them serving time and facing intense public scrutiny, they revisit that first moment often. When I'm alone and struggling, Todd said quietly, I go back to that day, that girl, that smirk, that challenge, and I remember who I'm fighting for. Julie added, that car wash changed our lives. Sometimes God sends blessings disguised as errands.